Kill yourself.
What's up everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video on the internet. Today we're going to be looking at a video that I found very interesting. It's called I Saved My Gay Friend with a Kiss. So I don't know how that saved him, but we're about to find out. So without further ado guys, sit back, relax, and we're going to figure out how to save a gay friend.
I'm Alice. I live in England and come from a religious family. We weren't the type of family that only listens to gospel songs or anything, but we went to church every Sunday, prayed, and led a pretty normal life. I made many friends from church and Sunday school, but there was one who was, and still is, my best friend. His name is Tyler, and we've been friends since we learned how to walk. Although we went to different schools, our parents got along and we'd see each other almost every weekend and every day after school. His parents were a lot stricter and a lot more religious than mine, and would hardly let him have any friends unless they fitted in perfectly to what they would class as a good person.
Dang. Sounds like your parents need to wake up and know what the real world is like. Fuck them.
In fact, I was one of the only people he was actually allowed to see privately. He could only listen to certain songs, watch certain TV shows, and had a really strict set of rules to live by.
Dude. This kid must be the saddest person alive. Like, come on. You must be the saddest person alive to have a family like that. To control every single thing that you do. Dude, if I had a family like that, I'm gonna be completely honest, okay? I'd probably just kill myself, dude. Just cause of the stress. That's too much stress. That is way too much stress.
The biggest issue his parents had was with homosexuals. Under no circumstances was he allowed any gay friends. And that was the biggest problem.
Was it the problem because his son was secretly gay? In that case, just kick him out of the fucking house.
I remember being 8 or 9 years old when we'd sneak into my brother's room to play with his gaming cards. But then I'd catch him looking at a picture of my brother, gazing and becoming lost in his own thoughts. I didn't think much of it at the time, until I began to notice he was flirting with boys more and more.
Yeah, I'm correct. His dad's gonna kick him out of the fucking house. He's gonna kick him out of the house.
He was extremely feminine and loved to do his nails, talk to girls, and play with makeup. The more I noticed these things, the more I knew he was gay, but I didn't know how to bring it up and talk to him about it.
It's fucking easy. You just say, hey dude, it looks like you're acting pretty gay. You want to talk about it. It's not hard. It's not, trust me, it's not hard. If you have a gay friend and you think he's gay, just ask him, hey, I'm just wondering, just a little curious. I don't mean to offend you, but are you gay? Like, come on. I can't believe it's that hard to ask a gay person if they're gay. Okay? It can't be that hard.
When his parents started to have ideas about what was going on, they were having none of it. One day, he was caught putting on his mother's makeup.
Yeah. You may as well just cut his lips off at that point. Like, goddamn, dude.
The next day, I saw him with a bruise on his wrist. He explained that his father grabbed him so hard that the ring he was wearing began digging into his arm, leaving him with a bruise. Things only got worse from here on. fast forward a few years, and we're both 15 years old. We were just talking on his bed when his parents came crashing into his room, his dad with a belt in his hand, and his mother holding a computer. I look up, first to see the anger in his dad's face, and then to the screen. On the screen was a picture of him and a boy holding hands on a bed. I could see the fear in Tyler's face.
Why would you... Okay. Okay, it kind of makes sense why you would take a picture, because you don't remember that shit, memorial and stuff. But if your parents have access to your computer, don't put stuff on it that you don't want them to see. Okay? So, in a way, he kind of fucked himself over, because their parents had access to the screen, to his computer, it sounds like. So he kind of knew what was happening in this whole situation so far. He knows the consequences. He's just doing it because he knows what's right. But at the same time, they need to start being when they need it. You know, you need to put them into place.
He was trying to convince them it wasn't gay. It was just a friend.
Not gay, dude. They're literally holding hands. They're holding hands in the picture. Tell me that's not gay. That is super gay, man. Okay? If you're a person who barely doesn't even know what the true meaning of gay is, and you just know it's a guy loving another guy, I'm pretty sure anyone would say if a man's holding another man's hand and gazing into each other's eyes, most people would say that's gay.
I knew that if I did nothing right then, things would get much worse. I took a large gulp and said, "He's not gay. He's my boyfriend." Tyler and his parents both looked equally as shocked. Tyler's father then said, "Well, if he is, then why don't you prove it?"
Yeah. Why don't you prove it? Pull your pants down and shove your dick inside of it. I'm getting so triggered. I don't know why I'm getting triggered. I'm sorry if you're listening on headphones. I'll try my best to lower the volume for you guys, but sorry if you're listening to headphones. I probably just broke your eardrums. Sorry about that. Anyways, let's move on.
I paused for a minute, looked deeply into his eyes, and then locked lips with him. It probably lasted only a few seconds, but it felt like an eternity. I could hear nothing apart from my heart beating and my own thoughts racing through my head. Was I doing the right thing? How was he going to react? For all I knew, he could have pushed me away, and then things could have gotten real bad. For both of us. As soon as it was over, I looked into Tyler's eyes, and straight away, I knew I'd done the right thing. We both looked to his parents, who were already retreating backwards in shock. His father still staring Tyler down as he backed out of the room. As the door clicked shut, Tyler turned to me, gave me a massive hug, and began to cry. He was so grateful, but at the same time, he was scared of what would happen if his parents ever found out the truth.
I think I know what's going to happen. They'll kick you out of the house and limit your resources of talking to people. I'm pretty sure that's what they would do. They would try to limit you to contact people, because they're afraid that, hey, he's talking to that man. That man's gay. We gotta kill him. We gotta kill him.
He said to me, if my parents knew I was gay, they'd disown me, leave me on the streets.
You just said you were scared of what would happen. What would? That means unknown of. What would happen? Not really knowing what would happen. I can't really use that as an example. Not really knowing the consequences. But then he explains what would happen. So he apparently does know what's happening. So this person who's telling this story doesn't really fucking know how to put words together. Because you just said he doesn't know, and now you explain what will happen if they find out. So you may need to go back to English class, young lady.
The whole next week, Tyler's words haunted me. I knew how strict his parents were, and I understood their beliefs. But I was also sure they loved him, and I was sure they wouldn't see him left on the streets.
They probably wouldn't, but they don't really support gay people. So they probably won't leave him on the streets. Like, come on, at the end of the day, they probably love him to death. The worst they can do at the moment of anger is beat the shit out of him and then regret about it later. Maybe. But they probably won't leave him on the streets, because if they do that, they're just shitty parents overall.
I had to speak with him, but I didn't want to do it at his house, where it would have been awkward for everyone. That weekend, I met Tyler in the park, and he looked at me, embarrassed and shy, and once again said to me, "I've known for years, but I didn't know how to tell you." He sat and poured his heart out to me, and I just listened and gave him occasional reassurance. The longer he spoke to me, the more I could see the weight being lifted from his shoulders. The conversation went from being a dark, upsetting one to a friendly chat about feelings that should have happened years ago, and I wish it had.
Like what? Anal? I think that's what he's talking about. He was talking about, oh, I should have done it then, but, you know, my parents, they'll beat the shit out of me, so I'm not going to do it.
I could see the pressure he had been carrying all on his own when he really just needed someone to talk to and a friendly shoulder to cry on. Tyler knew this was going to be a long road, but getting all of that off his chest to me gave him massive confidence, and for the first time in his life, he could see how things might not actually be that bad after all. Tyler has since come out to his friends and family, and although his parents didn't agree with his choice, they did accept it and still love him for who he is.
See, I told you. Kids just think of the worst scenario when it comes to shit like this. They just think of the worst scenario. But it's not always that case, okay? You see what happens? He thought, hey, I'll be kicked out onto the street if they found out, okay? But then he finally had grew the balls to tell his family, and they didn't do that. They didn't agree with him, but they didn't neglect him. Is that the proper term? I hope that's the proper term. They didn't discard him like a piece of trash, okay? Because at the end of the day, they're your parents. They will do anything for you. Doesn't matter if you're fucking gay or trans. Well, we can scratch that off. That'll probably be an issue. But besides that, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You see, it turned out great at the end. But not everybody's like that. I'm going to tell you now. Not everybody is like that.
Not only that, but he had full support from all of his friends, so every time he couldn't turn to his parents for advice and understanding, his friends were never far away. As for me, well, I'm happy I was there for my best friend in his darkest hour, when he most needed someone to be there for him, and I look forward to many more great years of our friendship.
Well, that's basically the end of the video. I was actually kind of hoping to see the parents beat the shit out of a kid because, you know, I like myself a little bit of child abuse. You know what I mean? I just like to see a kid get the shit kicked out of them. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is, the things I just said in this video are mostly jokes. If you got offended by it, I'd like to just say fuck you because you can't take simple humor. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys, it doesn't matter what your sexuality are. There are people out there that will support you and will help you through it, even if you have to kiss a girl just to hide it from your parents. You go do it. You go do it. I personally would have liked to see them fuck, because that would have shown more of proof that your girlfriend or boyfriend. Kissing, anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. But to really prove of your boyfriend and girlfriend, you should just done a little blowjob or something. It's a little sexual act, you know, something to really send the message to his parents, like, hey, we are in a relationship. Again, guys, this is all just banter. There's nothing wrong about this. I'm just taking the piss out of the video. But anyways, guys, that's basically for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will get a storytime video back into it. I've been doing these reaction commentaries for a while, and I want to start making more storytime videos, so I'll do that. So yeah, guys, that's basically for this video. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.